Hello, and welcome to my new presentation or video, whatever. So I thought about it about if you remember I made a Yu-Gi-Oh video regarding structure decks I want to see. I talked about the legendary dragons and how they really aren't that good in terms of not really that good. I mean more like together they don't have synergy if you want to build a deck around it. And their use, the time they are useful has passed, and there isn't much support for these kind of cards to take full advantage of their unique properties. But one of the things I definitely mentioned was Hermos is just banned. There's no reason to use Hermos. And in this video, I'm trying to think of a maybe we can fix Hermos and how we could fix it. Perhaps I intend to go over that. So, what does Claw of Hermos do? This is the entire point of Hermos. It lets you fusion summon, or actually it just special summons. It's not even a fusion summon. A monster using one material, and it can only summon monsters that this Claw of Hermos and its card text. These fusion monsters have all the effects that when summoned it triggers that they equip to another monster, and then that monster gains effects, and the fusions are generic, so you can just drop a dragon and summon Red Eyes Black Sword, for example. So there's no, you have to use Red Eyes Black Dragon, or these kinds of conditions the other dragons have. And so it's pretty much a 2-card combo, but in reality it's a 3-card combo because here are the problems of Hermos. They equip to a monster and they have to equip to a monster if a monster is on the field. You cannot undo the equip, nor can you decide when to equip before you fusion summon, I mean special summon in this case. And the first point obviously is that the equipment is a equip ability where you equip your monster. It's happened upon summon. And the bad thing about is if you have no monster, you have to equip an opponent's monster. And if nobody has a monster, you have just a underwhelming vanilla basically, because these monsters have no effect on their own to take advantage of. They only have effects when they are equipped on something. And the thing that benefits from the effect is the controller of the monster, equipped monster. And the effects are pretty underwhelming in my opinion. Most of them have double attack, which is nice. And piercing damage, which is okay. Nobody plays defense mode in modern Yu-Gi-Oh anymore. Lynx have no way to go to defense. Monsters that are weak, that would pretty much die, usually leave the field, so what is left on the field is usually big bodies, or hard to get rid of monsters. Or easy to get rid of monsters that benefit from leaving the field. And also the effects have no synergy with your other members, and Claw of Hermos is not searchable. These are all the problems Hermos and the fusions have. Possible solutions and improvements, I think. New fusions, obviously, that can equip like union monsters, basically. Equip and undo the equip whenever you want. New fusions having abilities that are not related to equipping, so give them more utility in this regard. A Hermos search, obviously. Monster variant of Hermos, like we have Hermos have a monster version. And obviously you want that also for Critias, but this is not a Critias video, we are focusing on Hermos. Monster variant of Hermos can change types and better effects, giving the deck a unique playstyle, or an extra playstyle. So what could the effect of the Hermos monster version of Hermos be? And when it's open on the field, it's treated as every type of monster, so you can pretty much use your entire fusion catalog. You can discard this card to add Claw of Hermos from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So this effect you might think is not really well thought out. You would probably want upon summon to add it, but I thought that might be a bit too OP. Banishing this card to equip one fusion monster that mentions Claw of Hermos to an appropriate target is another effect I would probably think of. And about the fusion monsters, I made just two, just to give you an idea of how things could go for. I'm not really that clever with ideas. I will leave it to Konami how they want to handle this. I think they did a good job, and the card designers have a better idea on the matter than I probably have at this point, since I am just not in the game anymore. I just cannot get into modern Yu-Gi-Oh, like I said, but it's always fun to look at these new cards. Sometimes you might think you would collect some of the new monsters that come out or the cards, but that's not something where I say I can play the game anymore. It's far out of my reach. The card text effects are way too long. Also, here's an idea for a Jinzo fusion. Let's call it Jinzo Specs, because why not? The Union monster-like effect, I will just write that down to notify how the equip effect should work. You can equip a monster and unequip a monster, you know how. A cost would be one machine monster. Upon using Claw of Hermos, you discard or send a machine type monster from your field or hand to the graveyard. Negate all traps from your opponent. Traps don't see too much play from what I remember in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! But there should be one thing you could do. You can set one trap card from either your graveyard to graveyards to your side of the field. So in this case, would be trap recycling would be a way to take advantage of Jinzu. And because it's iconic, I thought, why not have a blue eyes white dragon sword? So similar condition as the previous one with the equip effects, and the cost is a dragon type monster. I thought I'd give it a bit of blue eyes alternative dragon's ability, but instead of destroying one card, banish one card. And unlike the alternative dragon, you can still attack the turn you use this effect. I think this is well balanced out because of the weird cost you have to go through to get that fusion out, and you have to equip it. I think this is a fine condition. This is an equip effect, this is not the normal effect. Equip monster stats becomes the same as this fusion monster. 3000 attack, why not? It's a good attacking stat. Maybe increase the attack by this card's attack and defense would have been maybe a better investment, but I think this is a decent power ceiling to go for. Are there any other things you could do? I think certainly. I'm not able to think of some stuff. Since it's used by Joey, you can look at Joey's monsters and think, well, what would be appropriate fusion monsters to summon and effects to add. Joey usually has just warrior monsters. Insect Queen, I don't know what you could do with this. Increase the attack points based on all insects on the field sounds a bit lame. Turning everything to insects maybe is also a bit lame. I don't know how the ultimate Insect Queen's abilities are. Maybe you can incorporate all the best things about insects into that fusion monster. Would be a possibility. But I think Konami will probably figure something out if they were to take this a little bit seriously. Dark Mortician, probably the problem with Dark Mortician. I was thinking about making a Dark Mortician version. The problem was for me that every single thing about Dark Mortician has a monster version. Its staff, its freaking outfit. Although you cannot turn Dark Mortician into a weapon. Maybe you can turn its head into a cannon. I don't know. I'm grasping for straws here. And also, it's more a Tamaya's thing, Dark Mortician, so I didn't feel like Hermos would be that kind of appropriate target. It would be interesting to see Dark Mortician ride all the various dragons. Or maybe they could make a unique fusion card just with fusing Hermos with Dark Mortician or creatures with Dark Mortician. Could make a unique interaction in this regard. I'm thinking about it. Technically speaking, they could make a generic fusion where it's not equip related. You just send a Dark Mortician monster to the graveyard and just summon Dark Mortician the equipped dragon. I don't know, an alternative version to where Dark Mortician just rides the other dragons. But usually that would go beyond the intended design of the Hermos fusion monsters. But it would be nice, thinking about it, would it be fair to make a new set of fusion monsters? It just comes to mind while I was discussing this, that when they are summoned you can just pick any fusion from your extra deck and equip it to this card that lists Hermos, and it gains battle protection or whatever, and in return you can also use the effects of the fusion monsters you have equipped. I think that would be a nice way to... Maybe it would be broken thinking about it, but I'm sure you have seen the effects are just way too underwhelming. Even if you could just immediately summon these kinds of monsters. But it also comes at an extra deck cost. And it remains to be seen. We still don't have all the Hermos fusions. Hermos may get more support on the line. Thinking Valence armor cards haven't released, and Dragon Big Bang Shot is still something people we could get if that were to happen. Yeah, pretty much, that's pretty much it. Tell me what you think in the comment sections below, and I see you next